What's up, YouTube? Capital G here, looking at the new VJump and some cards that were announced. A whole bunch of information, not just including, like Arc V here. You can see the new Premium Pack 18. You see Yuya on the front, but I mean, there's some new information about the Yu-Gi-Oh movie right here, and just a whole bunch of stuff. New Blue Eyes support. So first off, we've got a new Xyz effect monster, and we have a new Synchro. Check this out. See all them stars or all that rank? This dude is freaking rank 12. I believe it is the first rank 12 Xyz ever. If there is another one, please feel free to correct me. But this is number 77, 7 Sins, or the 7 Sins. It's actually ironic because I just started watching an anime called The 7 Deadly Sins. Really good show. But the name sounds really cool. And again, rank freaking 12. I assume that there's probably going to be another way of summoning this guy outside of using 2 level 12 monsters, because like level 12s aren't the easiest thing to get on the field, and it just seems kind of difficult. But I think this card is probably going to be like one of those, if you summon it you win towers type cards, like the new quantum boss monster, the Megazord type dude. It's something like that. Then we have this card right here, the Synchro, whose name is the Ultimate Legendary God. Now, as soon as I saw this, I was like, wait, how many stars are you? You're 0. So I basically thought of this card right here. I assume that it's going to have the same exact type of effect where its level is always treated as like 12 or something like that. But much like this card, it is actually 0 attack, 0 defense. You can see it here kind of clear. So it'll definitely be a card that has some type of unique summoning conditions. It definitely won't be adding up towards like a traditional Synchro summon. And we're getting more Monarch support because, the new Monarchs just aren't enough, guys. What we're getting in the structure deck, advent of the true Monarch. But we're getting Angmar, the Demon Monarch. You can see that he's dark here because Caius was not enough. You can't really make out his stats. It wouldn't surprise me if it was 24, 1000. That would make a lot of sense. But it looks like not a ton of attack. So I'm going to assume he has a pretty basic effect. But, with the new Monarchs, they're like pretty damn beastly. So I'm going to assume he has a really good effect too. All right. New Blue Eyes time, guys. We were wondering with the Priestess of the Eyes of Blue if Blue Eyes were going to, well, we pretty much assumed Blue Eyes was going to get more support, but this card, I've actually read it. It's pretty damn amazing. This is actually the Blue Eyes alternate White Dragon. It has the same exact stat line and stars as the original. I would assume same type and attribute as well. You can see light here. And yep, it is in fact a dragon. And it says cannot be normal summon or set, can be special summoned from the hand by revealing 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon in your hand to your opponent. You can only special summon 1 Blue Eyes alternate White Dragon once per turn this way. Effect number 1, this card is treated as Blue Eyes White Dragon while on the field or in the graveyard. That's really good for being in the graveyard. Effect number 2, once per turn, you can target 1 monster your opponent controls, destroy it. This card cannot attack the turn that you activate this effect. So to me, this card is really good. In fact, it seems a lot better than the original Blue Eyes, which obviously was just a beater and didn't really have any effect it didn't have any effect to show. But the fact is, a lot of times when I'm playing my Blue Eyes deck, I find myself with, too many Blue Eyes in hand, and it's like, unless I use Polymerization for like First of the Dragons, I can't really get them out of my hand. You really never tribute summon in the deck, so why not just reveal, or you can trade him in, I guess, but you can trade this guy in too. Why not just be able to reveal that Blue Eyes, summon a 3000 beater? Basically, it's like summoning a Blue Eyes, but this guy gets an added bonus. He gets to blow up monsters, and it doesn't have to be a face-up monster. It can just be a face-down monster. Pretty much anything on the field that can be targeted. This card is really, really good, and with the Priestess of the Eyes with Blue, it gives you 2 cards to search. You can search 1 copy of your Blue Eyes, and you can search 1 copy of your alternate Blue Eyes. And then obviously, if you search both of them, you'd be able to summon alternate like pretty much immediately. So the card has a pretty practical effect when you look at Priestess and you kind of take in the synergy that all these cards have together. Moving on. Obviously, we have even more Blue Eyes cards. So I thought that it was just going to be like, Priestess and Maiden, but nah, dude, they're getting a whole bunch of cards. This is actually Guard with Eyes of Blue. He's level 1. I would assume he's a tuner. He has to be a tuner, right? He is a tuner. He's 800 attack, 1300 defense, level 1, of course. He's a spellcaster. I think they're all spellcasters. Shoutouts for like Wonder Wand. Wonder Wand's gonna be so good in this deck now. You can only use the 2 effect of Guard with Eyes of Blue. Let's see, once per turn. Effect number 1, when this card is normal summoned, you can special summon 1 level 1 tuner monster from your hand. Yeah, this just okay. That's not crazy about that. Effect number 2, you can target 1 effect monster you control, send it to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon 1 Blue Eyes monster from your hand. Well, that does trigger Maiden of the Eyes with Blue, so I mean that's kind of cool, but kind of wish it could. Kind of wish the Blue Eyes you could summon could be from hand or graveyard. That seems like that would be a little better. So far, none of these are better than Maiden. Like, just being honest. And then there's this, looks like a girl. It could be a guy. This is the Sage Knight with Eyes of Blue. That doesn't tell me if this is a girl or a guy, to be honest. All right, 0 attack, 1500 defense. Honestly, the stat line of these monsters doesn't really matter because you're not going to be beating your opponent down with these. It is a spellcaster, it's light, it's a tuner of course, and it says you can only use the 2 effect once per turn. When this card is normal summon, you can add 1 light level 1 tuner from your deck to your hand except itself. Okay, this one seems way better because if nothing else, at least it's like baby Stratos for the deck. Like that seems way good. And actually, damn, it has to be light. If it didn't have to be light, I was like, oh, you could add Flame Veil Guard and then use Card of Consonance, but it has to be light, unfortunately. Still not bad. I mean, so far, yeah, like this is the second best one so far. Effect number 2, you can discard, then target 1 effect monster you control, send it to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon 1 Blue Eyes monster from your deck. That again is not terrible. You discard this, then you target that monster, send it to the graveyard. Because again, it can trigger Maiden of the Eyes with Blue, which would give you, actually would give you 2 Blue Eyes because Maiden would get you a Blue Eyes, and then you get a Blue Eyes from this effect too. So that would actually be pretty good. And I think this would trigger Priestess as well, and it would let you get a Blue Eyes straight from the field, and then it would let you trigger Maiden, and you could get another Blue Eyes, and then you could get the alternative Blue Eyes, and you could summon both of those. So this one, like I'm thinking after Maiden, this seems like the best one. Like this guy seems really good. This doesn't seem like good at all, honestly. Yeah, this doesn't really seem good at all. It just lets you summon another tuner. I mean, maybe if you really need to get like 2 synchro summons in a turn, but in general, this one seems pretty good. All right, next up we've got another variation of Blue Eyes White Dragon. Okay, this is called White Spirit Dragon. So it's 2500 attack, 2000 defense. Are those the Dark Magician stats, or does Dark Magician have 2100 defense? I think those could be the Dark Magician stats. How many stars are you? 4 on this side, 4 on the other. Okay, you're level 8, which means trade-in is going to be like mandatory in this deck because you can run 3 Blue Eyes, 3 alternate Blue Eyes, and then possibly, you know, multiple copies of this, or at least 1 copy. Let's read the effect and see if we're going to run this at all. This card's name is always treated as a Blue Eyes card. Okay, so it's on field, it is you know, a Blue Eyes card. Effect number 1, if this card is in your hand or in graveyard, it is treated as a normal monster. That's really important because things like what's it called, Silver's Cry and Swing of Memories, like they're played in Blue Eyes decks. I play one and I use cards like that, so this is definitely good. The fact that it's always treated as a normal while it's in the graveyard or in your hand. Wow, in your hand it's a normal too. That's really good. That also means you can make First of the Dragons with this even if it's in your hand. Effect number 2, when this card is normal or special summoned, you can target 1 spell or trap on the field, 1 spell or trap your opponent controls and destroy it. That's good. It's just basically MST Dragon the second that it's summoned. And that is not once per turn, is it? That is totally not once per turn. So if you soul charge like 3 of these back, just fucking Heavy Storm, just go Feather Duster on your opponent's side of the field, basically. Effect number 3. During either player's turn, if the opponent controls a monster, you can tribute summon this card, special summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand. I don't really, I'm trying to think if that effect's really good. I don't know. That doesn't seem that good. It's like, okay, you get to tribute this to summon a Blue Eyes, but this card is practically as good as a Blue Eyes, so that doesn't seem like super cost efficient. Like, this seems great, and this seems great, but the third effect seems, I don't know, like, very situational. I mean, it could be good, don't get me wrong. It seems like if you already have this card on the field, you've probably, like, put in a lot of work to get it on field. To tribute it for a Blue Eyes just seems like a minor upgrade. All right. Now, guys, we have our Blue Eyes. We actually have our Blue Eyes Synchro, which, I mean, the artwork looks freaking amazing on it. It looks like a ghost rare, doesn't it? Almost, yeah, it looks like a ghost rare. This is Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon, which kind of looks like this guy right here. Kind of looks like the white Spirit Dragon. And the stat line is pretty similar. Well, it's like Blue Eyes backwards, I think. It's 3,000 attack, or excuse me, 3,000 defense, 2,500 attack. It's a level 9 light dragon synchro monster. Effect number 1 says neither player can special summon 2 or more monsters at once. We were talking about this card on stream tonight, and I was like, yo. So basically you're telling me not only can my opponent like not really soul charge me, because you know soul charge you usually only got like 3-4 cards, and there will be those other cards like Gotham's emergency call and double-edged sword technique, but in general it just seems like, okay, so you really can't pendulum summon unless you're just gonna pendulum summon one monster. But like, who the fuck wants to do that? Like, people want to pendulum summon 3, 4, 5 monsters. You basically just won't be able to do that. So that is amazing, because it just seems like it just hates on pendulums. And then effect number 2 is even like, effect number 2 is just as good. Once per turn, when the effect of a card in the graveyard activates, you can negate that activation. That is amazing. It basically just, it's like just divine wrath for anything that happens in the graveyard. And what I like is it doesn't actually have to be a monster. I mean, yeah, it'd be good against like Grados. You just run the motherfuckers over and your opponent be like, oh, I'm gonna activate my effect. No, I don't think you're actually going to. But you can even negate like a breakthrough skill or something like that. Like or you can negate, you know, any type of other card that activates in the grave. I can't think of any other ones like other than breakthrough skill where, you know, like it activates from the graveyard. I think even if it's banished as a cost, I think you still should be able to negate. I could be wrong about that, but just in general, I mean, even though we are kind of moving out of a format where it's very graveyard based, because, you know, Burning Abyss got kind of like wrecked and Shadows got wrecked too. I mean, it still obviously would be good against those decks, but even against a deck like Cosmos, where, you know, the Dark Destroyer and the Forerunner activate in the graveyard by banishing, you could just, you know, try and negate those things. And I don't know, it just seems like a really good effect. Effect number 3, during each player's turn, you can tribute this synchro summon monster, special summon one dragon type light synchro monster from your extra deck in face up defense position. Except itself, that monster is destroyed during the end phase of this turn. So I actually looked this up and I was like, wait, so what can we get from this? And, you know, actually I'll go light, because it's very specific. You know, I was like, well, the monster has to come out in defense mode, and it does blow itself up. So it's not like you can go into Star Eater and just kill your opponent. But what you have to realize is you can go into Azure Eyes Dragon, and then, you know, when Azure Eyes is summoned, the turn that it's summoned, well, until the end of the next turn, it cannot be destroyed by card effects, which would include obviously this guy's card effect. So I'm gonna think that you're gonna summon this, and then you're gonna go into Azure Silver Dragon, and then you're just gonna get like whatever Blue Eyes or whatever the hell that you use to summon this, just get your shit right back. So I mean, this card seems pretty damn good, and again, it locking out pendulum monsters, really, really good, especially if you can go into Azure Eyes, get your Blue Eyes back, and then somehow special summon this back from the graveyard. Like, that's pretty amazing. All right, we've got a new DDD Synchro. I looked at this one too. The card is okay. The artwork is, I mean, jeez, it is. The artwork is getting so good with Konami on these cards. The stat line of the monster is pretty good. It's a Dark Fiend Synchro. It's level 8, 2800, 2200. It requires one tuner plus one or more DD monsters. It says you can only use the effect of Siegfried once per turn. Oh, by the way, that's his name. Juketsu O Siegfried. I'm sure in like the TCG, it's gonna be like Siegfried the DDD Knight or something like that. You know, it'll be something really stupid. But anyways. Effect number 1. During each player's turn, you can target one face-up, spell, or trap you control. Negate its effects until the end of the next standby phase. I tried to wrap my head around that, and I was like, I kind of get that you can use this effect to make sure that you don't have to, like, you know, pay life points on your cards. I believe that that's something you can do with the DDDs. I don't think the Covenant cards, I don't think they're actually cost, are they? Because I'm not super familiar with DDDs, but I don't think that they're actually cost. I think the paying 1,000 is like actually built into their effects. I think it happens at like I don't think it's actually a cost with them. I don't think it's a maintenance cost. I could be wrong about that. Effect number 2, if this card or when this card is destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect and sent to the graveyard, gain 1,000 for each dark contract, or I guess Covenant in the TCG card you control. That seems pretty practical. Usually I have at least 2 of them. Like, you know, you have the King of the Swamp one and the Rhoda one, so I could see you easily getting 2,000 light points. The card seems okay, but honestly, I don't find myself synchro summoning that much when I play DDDs. Usually it's Xing, but for the most part, it's like fusion summoning. Like, fusions run the show in DDDs, in my opinion. We've got a couple more DDD cards. I'm not going to go into those because I don't want to just sound stupid when I'm talking about DD. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4 new DDDs. Wow, including a Pendulum with a P-Scale 3, a level 4 one. Looks like a double-headed Cerberus. It's actually named Orthros. Okay. But there was one more card, a couple more cards I want to talk about, including obviously the Winged Dragon of Ra. A lot of people are excited for this one. What is that? Is that 10 or 11 stars? He's level 10, and it's divine. Guys, we only have I'm trying to think of another divine card. I think I'll just go out on a limb and I'll say maybe the Spear is divine, but like Obelisk is the only divine one that I can think of, like the only other divine card. I think the Slifer the Side Dragon, I think Slifer is probably divine too, but that's pretty much it. Alright, I gotta read this guy. Holy crap, he has 4 facts. Cannot be normal summoned / set. Must be special summoned by its own effects and cannot be special summoned by any other ways. Okay, so you have to build a deck around it. Effect number 1. If this card is in your graveyard while the Winged Dragon of Ra is sent from the field to the graveyard, special summon this card from the graveyard. Cards and effects cannot be activated in response to this card's activation. And this is the Winged Dragon of Ra God Pheonix. Okay. Seems pretty good. Get this guy in the graveyard and basically somehow make sure that the Winged Dragon of Ra is sent to the graveyard. But it has to be from the field though. Effect number 2. This card is unaffected by all other card effects. Holy shit. Hello, Cleafort Towers. Is it me or are they building that into like a lot of monsters now? Because the new Power Ranger Megazord has that too. Effect number 3. You can pay 1,000 life points. Send one monster on the field to the graveyard. That seems pretty good. Send a monster, just get rid of it. Effect number 4. During the end phase, send this card to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon one Winged Dragon of Ra Spear mode from your hand, deck, or graveyard, ignoring its summoning conditions. Damn it, I knew there had to be a catch with this card. The damn thing can't stay on the field very long. I mean, I guess basically it's just a constant juggle between Spear mode and the Pheonix. And it really seems like once you try and summon this, like, your opponent, okay, the best chance of stopping this card, honestly, is probably to banish it while it's in the graveyard. Because once it comes out, like, it's fucking lights out. I mean, you can't affect it by any card effects. You're really not going to beat over a 4,000 attack monster. Like, unless you have, like, Honest or something like that. That's the only practical way, or, like, triple collude or something dumb like that. You know, double colludes. But this card seems really good. I mean, I guess it's just, you know, how easy can you get the spear mode on the field and have this card in the graveyard? Also, you have to make sure your spear mode goes to the graveyard. It can't get banished. If your spear mode gets banished, you're kind of fucked. And obviously you see that there are some more divine cards here that obviously work with this, the winged dragon of Ra Pheonix mode. And there was a new fusion that I wanted to talk about too. Here it is, a new Blue Eyes card. So Blue Eyes is getting a lot of new support, guys, and this card's pretty good. This is Blue Eyes Twin Burst Dragon. It's a light dragon fusion, 3,000 attack, 2,500 defense. It's the exact opposite of the synchro, the new synchro, and it requires Blue Eyes White Dragon plus Blue Eyes White Dragon. Okay, that's fair enough. Considering the alternative dragon, or this guy right here, considering this guy is a Blue Eyes White Dragon, then, you know, makes it a lot easier, doesn't it? It says you cannot this card cannot be special summoned except by fusion summoning and the following method. Okay, so there is 2 ways to summon this guy. It says you can send the above fusion materials you control in your monster zones to the graveyard and special summon this card from your extra deck. You do not use polymerization. I don't understand why they just don't officially term that contact fusion, because that's what it is. It's a contact fusion. I mean, machines do it with Cyber Fortress, and Gladiator Beasts have done it. Like, they could just officially name the term contact fusion if they're going to still release cards that do it. So it's fine. You can use polymerization, or you can use like your contact fusion, which is cool because it gives me another target instead of First of the Dragons to actually fusion into, because you generally, if you have 2 Blue Eyes, the only thing that you can like fusion into is First of the Dragons, but now you have another target. All right, it says 3 effects. The first effect is this card cannot be destroyed by battle. It's got 3,000 attack, so that's already going to be pretty difficult. Effect number 2, this card can attack twice during each battle phase. That right there is the reason why it's worth giving up 2 Blue Eyes, because it does the same amount of fucking damage as 2 Blue Eyes. Effect number 3, if this card did not destroy an opponent's monster in battle, at the end of the damage step, banish the opponent's monster. That right there is what sold me on this card. This means that if I run into one of your bigger monsters, A, my monster can't die in battle, B, I just get to banish your shit anyways. This card is really, really good. Like, I don't think I would build a Blue Eyes deck without this card. So let me know what you guys think of all of this new stuff to take in. Personally, I think the new Blue Eyes support is amazing. This fusion is really good. I think the new synchro is good. I think the synchro works with the old synchro, the Azure Eyes Dragon. I think the new rock card is actually pretty interesting. I think the alternative Blue Eyes Dragon is fucking amazing. Like, it's definitely what the deck needed. I think being able to just shut down pendulums is pretty cool. And the new DDD card is okay. Maybe it's like a 1-up or something like that. You might not even need it, but let me know what you guys think. Thank you for watching as always.